You know who else is in tune to that whistle? That's us up here. That's our cue to get started. Welcome into Training Camp Live presented by Honda. I'm your host, Caroline Hendershot, alongside Eric Allen. EA, the green and white practice day finally here. We just heard from AG. It's not a full scrimmage, a little bit of a pseudo scrimmage today, but what are you looking for and excited about most today?
Well, I'm excited about the fans. The first thing that we noticed when we came here this morning is people were lining up, so it's going to be a lively atmosphere out there. And Aaron Glenn's going to need the whistle this morning because it is loud. He's got the music pumping right now. The fans are getting into it. And everything about training camp so far has been a competition that has been stressed at every level. And today we're going to be seeing ones versus ones, like he said. First unit offense versus second unit defense, the threes versus threes, and so forth. So there's going to be a lively Saturday practice out here.
Is there anyone in particular in the ones and the twos and the threes that maybe you have your eyes peeled for, or you want to see them kind of stand out?
Well, we just saw the guy starting to stretch out here, and that's Justin Fields. I thought he had his best practice of training camp yesterday. A lot of situational drills out here at Jets camp, and in these late game situations yesterday, he was brilliant. He had a two-play drive where he hit Tyler Johnson over the middle, calls a timeout. Next play fires a touchdown pass to Mason Taylor. The next drive, he had to get his unit in position to score, and he did that once again before a simulated Nick Folk field goal. So, listen, he dealt with the dislocated toe early in camp. I think he's really starting to come on. I can't wait to watch him today.
Yeah, most definitely. I know all eyes are usually on quarterback one. Now, AG referenced more game leg. How does that change the practice? Is it pace of play, you think, or what is that big difference?
I just think it's more the move the ball situations. Like, you see a lot of drills out here, sometimes maybe 7-on-7s and things like that. I think it's going to feel like a game at times, and we'll see maybe these guys being tackled down. And then, again, move the ball means convert a first down or you're off the field.
Right.
So the pressure's on you on both of these units, the offense and the defense. So make good of your opportunities out there. And when the threes are out there, you know you're not going to get as many reps as the ones and the twos. So that's where you got to really make inroads and take advantage of those reps.
Right. Now, AG also yesterday in his press conference mentioned a couple people who are dealing with a little bit of injuries. Who were those names that stood out to you, and what does that mean in terms of people that you want to see step up and kind of fill those spots today?
Yeah, it's a great question. Quinnen Williams, he's dealing with the calf. This is the injury that he's dealt with before. Aaron Glenn said likely out a week or two. On the offensive side of the ball, left guard John Simpson, big guy dealing with the back. You're going to take a cautious approach there, likely out a week or two. And then Malachi Moore, he's got an oblique strain, the very impressive safety out of Alabama. So we'll have to see what happens with him and how he progresses over the next couple days. But I'm really focused on the interior on both sides of the line of scrimmage, because you mentioned we're talking about Quinnen Williams right now. Who are the guys going to be stepping up in his absence? And then when Simpson goes out, how are the Jets going to treat the center position? Yes, Simpson is a left guard, but you know who's got that cross-training ability is Joe Tippmann.
Right.
So does Tippmann slide over and get some snaps at left guard, maybe next to Josh Byers?
Right, so we're going to see what that looks like later today. But what about some other guys in those positions? I know you said you were focused on the fronts, but someone that stood out to you yesterday in practice, not having to really deal with those injury fronts, but I know you were talking, and AG as well, about Arian Smith.
Best practice, you know, just much like Justin Fields. Hey, listen, Arian Smith, it's all about learning and taking steps. And yesterday, he converted on a long ball chance. Now, I think Justin Fields probably would have been sacked on the play, but they carried through, let the guys finish the snap, and Justin Fields threw a beautiful long ball. Arian Smith got a step on Sauce Gardner. He found the ball over his shoulder, hauled it in, then celebrated. In fact, probably celebrated a little bit too much because I saw the ref throw a flag out there. Then in a situational drill late in practice. You had Tyrod Taylor up inside the red zone, and he found Arian Smith, who had a brilliant release. This guy is very quick off the line of scrimmage. He's got the straight ahead speed, but again, he can surprise cornerbacks. He can get on you in a hurry. He can change the dynamic on the offense. I'm not saying he's going to be catching 5 balls a game, but you have to account for a guy who has that kind of speed.
Right, and I think that's the greatest asset of this wide receiver group. A lot of different strengths from all of them. So you got that speed, you got Garrett Wilson, the acrobat over there. So you're really hitting all of the important things. So it's definitely a nightmare for defenses. Now, we're going to bring on some special guests, but before we get to that, we got to tell all of you Jet fans that the New York Jets mini plans are on sale right now. Make sure you lock in the same great seats for 4 matchups at MetLife Stadium. Plus, receive exciting benefits. Packages start at $156 per seat per game. Buy now at nyjets.com/mini plans. Now, we're going to hear from our kicker, Nick Folk, who's back in the green and white, and how his crazy connections with the team never seem to stop. Now we're joined by wide receiver Laveranues Coles. Thanks so much for joining us, Elsie. We just heard from Nick Folk. He's now playing with some of his former teammates' kids. You're looking at one of your former teammates with AG on the field. What are your takeaways with AG as his first time as a head coach?
Truly excited for him to get an opportunity to be here. I mean, where it all started from. I'm sure he's a first-round pick here. And I'm just excited for him to get an opportunity to coach this team. I think we was in training camp together back when we was doing our little bit of front office work and internship, and to see him come back and actually be the head coach of the team is truly exciting.
Did you get a chance to watch his miking? I'm telling everybody right now to watch his miking on NewYorkJets.com and YouTube as well, because we posted that the other day. He's a natural teacher.
Well, I haven't had an opportunity to see it, but I do know AG is very passionate about everything he does. So just me knowing him over the years, I can anticipate what it's going to be like.
Now, I want to get into this offense really quickly and kind of pick your brain. Now, we were just talking about wide receiver Arian Smith before you hopped on set. He's a mid-round draft pick. You were a mid-round draft pick. What are those training camp practices like, especially one where it's almost like a pseudo-scrimmage today? How important are those?
I mean, it gives everybody an opportunity to see where you are at this point in training camp. I mean, it's a lot of information being given to him at this point really early. So, I mean, I don't think you can take a lot out of the day, but if he does really well, it'll kind of give you a projection about where he'll be at when it's time to kick off the season. So just for him to get his hands on the ball and be around and be out, probably get an opportunity to maybe run with the ones, so sometimes twos, it'd be exciting to see how he progresses.
What was your reaction when you heard that the Jets had not only locked up Sauce Gardner to a long-term extension, but Garrett Wilson as well?
Truly excited. I mean, over the past years, we've always kind of let our guys get away, hint myself, but to see them keep guys that they bring in and then keep them here, because these are the guys that are the foundation of this football team, and I'm excited for those guys, and I'm just thankful they got it done.
Now, we're a week away from the Jets' first preseason game. Do you remember your first preseason game when you were a rookie? What was that like?
It's truly nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's your first time coming out of professional tunnel. You've had some practices, but it's different when you're coming out to an actual game. And then to have the coaches kind of just take the reins off of you and allow you to be a professional is a little bit different than it is from the college atmosphere. So I think these guys get an opportunity to see what it's like that first. And you get a lot of reps when you're young, because they want to see how you're going to perform and get as much film of you as they can.
You were a physical dude yourself. What do you think about what the Jets wide receiver group is saying? No block, no rock. You better get your nose dirty or else you're not getting a football.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much how it works because you need the running backs and the offensive line to block for the quarterback to have time to give you the ball. So when it's the shoes on the other foot and then the running back and the quarterback needs time to get stuff done, or the running back needs lanes, you need to be down the field blocking for them too. So I think it works out pretty well, and it just shows that there's no selfish play on this team.
Other than catch the football, score a touchdown, what can any of these wide receivers do to really set themselves apart in a pseudo scrimmage like today's?
I think just be not only vocal, but then show that they are capable of getting into the running game and making a difference. Because being able to block, sometimes being able to you don't want to crack back on your own teammates, but get in the way of some of those bigger guys, some of the DNs and some of the linebackers, and show that you're willing to put yourself in the line of fire and let the coaches know that you're serious about being unselfish and being in the game.
I'll see we're watching the quarterbacks warm up right now, including Justin Fields and, of course, Tyrod Taylor. What I was encouraged about yesterday is the Jets started getting some vertical strikes. You had Fields hit Arian Smith. We talked about that before. Tyrod Taylor got into it as well. How does that change the dynamic when you start going up top in terms of spacing on the field?
Well, if you can make those plays count, I think it just stretches the fields and give more opportunity to the running game, because you can't just crowd the line of scrimmage and then or play 20 yards in, which makes it tough on the offense to be efficient. So I think if they can stretch the field and hit some deep balls and loosen some defenses up, it'll create lanes for the running game and then also to open up other avenues in the passing game.
Elsie, thank you so much for joining us on set. I know it was quick with you, but we're going to let you go watch practice, get all settled and ready to go, because it's going to be a good one today. But Jets fans who are watching, I need you to know Jets game day is better together. Bring a group of 6 or more to MetLife Stadium and take advantage of preferred pricing, access to on-field experiences, and more. To book, visit nyjets.com/groups or call 973-5494-590. Now we're going to hear from AG on one of those wide receivers that was standing out in yesterday's practice. So high praise from AG for Arian Smith. Now we get another wide receiver on the set. Not only a former Jet, but a former Michigan Wolverine. I'm not biased.
Go Blue.
Braylon Edwards, thanks so much for joining us. How excited are you to be back at practice?
Always excited to be here. You know, it's the second home for me, man. I love being with you guys, seeing you guys again. I love just being in a place that kind of rebirthed my career in a sense. And just glad to be with AG. I've been in Detroit for the last 4 years, so I got a chance to see what he did in terms of changing that culture, and I'm very hopeful of what he's going to do here with the Jets.
Bray, I wanted to go to the gym right now. You got me inspired, man. You look like you could go out there and run a few routes.
I appreciate that. Look is the key word.
Okay.
I look like it on the inside of some stuff in there, but yeah, you get older, man. Stuff doesn't come off. Health is wealth, so here we are.
Now, you mentioned AG and that culture change that he was a part of in Detroit. From your perspective as a player, what's that biggest almost differential when a culture change is happening that you pick up on that is probably happening here with the Jets too under AG?
I think when AG is coming in, he's looking at the same thing that Dan Campbell did in Detroit. And what they did was they had to change that culture, just missed assignments, missed mistakes, things of that nature, dialing into football. Get all the distractions out of here, man. They dialed in football and they create a culture of team. Like everything be about the Lions, and that's what AG is going to do here. Everything needs to be about the Jets. Everything needs to be about the locker room and nothing outside.
What do you think about the emphasis on physicality from the get here from the Jets? I know you're watching from afar in Detroit, but you're hearing about these one-on-one tackling drills where the guys are going to the ground, and everybody's talking about pace around here in terms of, hey, tempo and get after people. Also be disciplined while you're doing all this.
Be disciplined about it. You know, you brought up Michigan. I think that's the thing that changed for Michigan is they became the physical team. They started doing it in practice. Jim Harbaugh preached that, and that's what they did in Detroit, and that's what they're going to do here. That physicality, the Lions people don't want to play them on defense because of how much they bring it, and that's what they need here. And there's more pieces on this defense. There's more pieces on this team that AG can pull from.
Now, I want to go back to wide receivers because obviously Garrett Wilson gets that extension. Everyone.
Deservingly so.
Yes, of course. Everyone couldn't be more excited or thrilled about that. But what have you thought of his early kind of reconnection, I should say, with Justin Fields?
I like that. You know, you saw what they did at Ohio State. They were just a unanimous tandem type deal. But being here is good. He's had a bunch of different quarterbacks, and he's still found a way to be very productive. He's still found a way to be dialed in. So now you get Justin Fields here, a guy he all knows too well. So I'm excited to see what that looks like for 5.
Can you explain or like even try to put into words how impressive that is, what he has done with as many different quarterbacks as he has had, the production level that he's still able to pull off?
It's so much changes from quarterback to quarterback, a right-handed quarterback, a left-handed quarterback. The spiral comes off different, the cadence in the huddle, how strong is the arm versus how strong the arm is not. Is he an assistant guy? Is he a guy that's trying to do it on his own and be the guy? We saw that happen the last couple of years, thank God. But it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, and to go out there, different offensive coordinators, different minds. Like, he's dealt with a lot in the last 4 years, so it's going to be good to see him dialed in. I think Aaron Glenn, Justin can help.
Fields, dual threat. We haven't seen a guy like him play for the Jets. Guy's rushed for more than 50 yards per game throughout his career. A couple years back,
It's crazy.
1,000-yard rusher with the Bears. How much do you design stuff for him to run? What does that mean for you guys on the outside? Also, how are safeties going to approach playing this Jets offense? You know the Jets want to get the run game going, and it's going to involve Fields.
I think the big thing when he got to Chicago, we didn't know him as a runner at Ohio State. Ohio State never really showed him as a runner. They didn't want to get him hurt, and they didn't need to. So when he started running, it's out of necessity. I don't want it to be a thing where now we know he can run. Let's run him every play. Let's do these things. Be comfortable with it. Use it when you can. But safeties tend to bite up. You know you got to run a quarterback. He gets out of the pocket, starts to look good. You key in on that. Receivers come open down the field late. That's what I'm excited for, is the big play down the field because you have Justin that can get out of the pocket.
Now, unfortunately, that horn is our cue that we have to go because practice is starting and we have to get off the air. But Braylon Edwards, thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
Always
Next
a pleasure.
time you're going to see us on Training Camp Live presented by Honda will be next Thursday. So you're going to have to wait a while. I know. Don't worry. We'll still be here. And that will be August 7th, 8:45 in the morning. We will see you then.